How to prophesy, step by step. There are three wells of prophecy. Well, some call them the three building blocks of prophecy. It does not matter who you are. It does not matter where you are. Without these three building blocks of prophecy, no one can prophesy. Absolutely no one. Ladies and gentlemen, the prophetic can be taught. I did not say one can be taught to become a prophet. I said the prophetic can be taught. When you read the Bible in the book of Luke chapter 11 verse 1 or Matthew chapter 6, you'll see that one of the disciples of Jesus came to him and said, Master, teach us how to pray. The word prayer is the word prosuke. Prosuke means two-way communication, meaning prayer is not an analog but a dialogue. If one can be taught how to speak to God, one can be taught how to hear from God. The three building blocks are very, very important of prophecy. However, before we get into them, I want us to deal with the word prophecy. What is prophecy? Prophecy is simply to give an inspired word of God. Those who are deep will say prophecy means giving or telling or revealing the mind of God towards a people, a place, or a situation. However, prophecy stands on two pillars, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left is called forthtelling. Forthtelling is when you deal with the now. You deal with the present. You are dealing with things that are happening right now. The one on the right is called foretelling. This is where you deal with the future. You deal with things to come. The likes of Jeremiah and Daniel dealt with this pillar, or rather operated in this arm, the pillar, where they used to foretell, not forthtell. The first building block of prophecy, pay attention, and this is very, very important, is what we call prophetic revelation. What is prophetic revelation? Whenever we are talking about prophetic revelation, we are talking about the will of God. Yes, the will of God. Amos 3:7 declares, surely the Lord does nothing unless he reveals it to his servant, the prophet. So there must be a revelation of the will of God to the prophet, for the prophet to know the mind of God. So how does God do it? He does it through prophetic revelation. But there are methods that God will use to reveal his will to us. The way he's going to reveal it to me is not the way he's going to reveal it to you. That's why the most important thing is to know which method is God using to reveal his will to me. Job 33 verse 14 and 15 declares, God speaks once, yet twice, but man perceiveth it not. Verse 15 says, in a dream. So the first here method that God will use to speak to us, rather reveal his revelation, is through a dream. And of course, we have three types of dreams, and I don't want to get into that. We have got a seldom dream, onar, and opinion. When we are talking about a dream, we are talking about the highest form of revelation. If one will have had a revelation in the highest level, is when one has a dream. And the Bible continues to say in the book of Numbers chapter 12, and you read verses 6, if there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision. So the second method God will use to reveal his will, his mind to you or to his people is through a vision. The word vision or a vision is simple means the highest form of sight. However, we have different types of visions. I'll just give you the two arms of visions, which is closed vision and open vision. However, we have my favorite method that God uses to reveal his will to his people, and it's called prophetic. Prophetic. This one I love it. Impressions. Now, this is where you see things with the eyes of your mind. This is where you see pictures. This is where you see symbols. This is where God uses what is within you to speak to you. When you read the Bible in the book of Daniel chapter 7, Daniel says, the visions of my mind troubled me. So this is the first building block of prophecy. Without the will of God, what are you going to say to the people? Otherwise, you will be speaking on behalf of something else, not God. And in order for God to reveal his will to you, it has to happen through a method, either a dream, either a vision, either a prophetic impression. So one will say, but I see angels. You are having an open vision. One will say, but I was sleeping. You are dreaming. One says, it came to my mind. It's a prophetic impression. Then the second building block of prophecy, this one is the most important one. It's called prophetic interpretation. Now, the word interpretation is a combination of two words. Interpretation. Enter simple means to get inside, to have access to. The word pretation means to dig deep. So if I say I'm looking for an interpreter, I'm looking for somebody who will be able to enter and dig deeper. Now, here most prophets make an error here. This is where the whole thing comes down, right? One can receive a prophetic revelation from God. They know 100% God revealed it to them either through a dream or a vision or prophetic impression, right? But now the problem is always here, because until it's interpreted, it does not become a revelation. It remains a mystery. If you don't interpret it, it can't make sense to us. Because when it comes to God, not every time you see what you see, it means what you saw. The book of Zechariah chapter 4 verse 2 declares, the angel of the Lord asked Zechariah and said, what do you see? Zechariah said, I see a candlestick that is gold and a bowl on top of it, 7 lamps, and I'm seeing also 7 pipes. I'm seeing 2 olive trees. And the angel said, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts. If I was to rewind, you realize that Zechariah saw some candlesticks, 7 lamps, 7 pipes, some bowl, 2 olive trees. But the interpretation said, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel. It looks as if it does not come together. That is because when it comes to God, not everything you see is what you are seeing. Jeremiah 1, the Lord said, what do you see, Jeremiah? He said, I see an almond tree. God said, you have seen well, for this is my word. I will watch over it to perform it. So not every time you see something, it means what you see. That's why when you read the Bible, in the book of Daniel chapter 10 and you read verses 12, you realize that Gabriel is telling Daniel about his prayer request. And what was Daniel's prayer request? Is that Daniel had prayed for understanding. Understanding of what? Of times to come. God had showed him something, but he did not understand it. So what he did was to pray for understanding. And that was him digging deeper. He wanted interpretation. So it is very important for you as a woman of God, a man of God, a child of God, to always pray for understanding, to pray for interpretation. So in simpler terms, when we are talking about prophetic interpretation, we are talking about what it means. Remember, prophetic revelation is the will of God. Prophetic interpretation is what it means. Now, we move. Then we have the third building block. And this one is my favorite. Is what we call prophetic application. This is where you deal with delivering that which you have received, either through a dream, vision, or prophetic impressions. Because if God gives you a revelation and you are able to interpret it, you must be able to deliver it. Your audience or the recipient of the prophecy or the prophetic word must know if what you are giving to them is an unconditional prophecy or conditional prophecy. Most importantly, you must know that. Because if you give an unconditional prophecy as if it's a conditional prophecy, that prophecy will not come to pass. And that will make you look like you never heard from God. That's why you have people talk about the next coming elections, and they will tell you the president of this country will be this and that. And only to find out that when the results come, it will be completely something opposite, something that they did not talk about. And they themselves will start questioning their source. And people also will start questioning them. Are you really from God? And only to find out that indeed, 90% of them are from God. But they failed to deliver. It is also important for you to understand that when it comes to delivering, which is prophetic application, this is where the vocal gifts of the Spirit come in. And that is the word of wisdom, and that is the word of knowledge. It is also important for you to understand that you should be able to tell the person that you're talking to through that which you have received, what to do, how to do it, when to do it, who to do it with. It is very useless for you to be accurate and not relevant. I've seen how young people, especially in our time, will go through accuracy, or rather will go for accuracy. They don't care about what God is saying to that person. What they need is to be accurate. And you can't be accurate until you understand what I am talking about. Once you fully respect this and treat this with reverence, it is easy for you to be accurate. Accuracy without relevancy is useless, so it's a waste of time. What I mean is, if you come to me and tell me, my name is Mzwakhe, I'm married to Charisma, well, you might be accurate and everybody will see this man of God is accurate. But at the end of the day, it should not end there. You should actually give me the mind of God concerning my life, my marriage, my situation, whatever that is. Because just giving me my name, it does not mean that you have prophesied to me. Because giving me my name and my address is not prophecy, but rather is what we call the spectacular of the prophetic. So you use that to get my attention and to work on my faith, but you must reveal God's intentions. I'll give an example. When God called Moses, he used a burning bush. A burning bush is something that God used to get Moses' attention so that he could reveal his intentions. So if I come to you and say your name is this, I am getting your attention, working on your faith, but at the same time, I must reveal God's mind to you. So if I don't do that, I am accurate but not relevant. And as a result, accuracy without relevancy is a waste of time. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have our 3 building blocks of prophecy. But this is what I want you to always remember. Having a gift, whether it's a gift of prophecy, whether you are a seer, whether you are a prophet, or you are somebody who desire the prophetic, it is not enough. As a matter of fact, that is a starting point of your calling. You need to be equipped. Hence, in the book of 2 Kings, we had a school of prophets. And not only that, even in the times of Samuel, Samuel had a company, a school of prophets. These people were born prophets. Some of them, their fathers were prophets. But they still had to go for what? For classes. And that is because the more you know, the more you function. The less you know, the less you function. God will always cause you to travel in the spirit to exactly what you know. You can never go beyond what you know. That's why you must be teachable. Do away with pride and be teachable. Because if you are teachable, you are leadable. And if you are leadable, you are ready to lead God's people.